Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the absolute nuts and bolts of the PeopleSoft billing lifecycle. We're going to trace the full end-to-end hero's journey of your billing data. We'll track a single raw transaction from the second it hits the system all the way through the specific screens and back-end tables until it becomes a finalized invoice and a pristine accounting entry. If you're a system admin or finance pro wanting to really master the machinery, you're in exactly the right place.
Think about it for a second. What actually happens under the hood to turn a raw spreadsheet row into a finalized, legally binding invoice? And then, how does that translate into a ledger entry? Understanding this detailed step-by-step process and the specific tables driving it isn't just nice-to-know trivia. It's literally the key to troubleshooting errors and optimizing your entire financial operation. Here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, a high-level overview of the billing cycle. Then, receiving the billing data, validating it in the work center, generating the final invoice, and finally, integrating with accounting. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. Overview of the billing cycle, the big picture.
Okay, so the end-to-end PeopleSoft billing flow is basically a highly coordinated data factory. It starts by receiving bill data from external sources or other PeopleSoft modules. From there, the system creates the bills, which real humans then review and validate. Next up is the finalize and print stage, which is where it officially becomes an invoice. Finally, the data gets pushed out to create the necessary accounting entries in the general ledger, receivables, and accounts payable. Keep this linear step-by-step factory flow in mind as we zoom into the details.
Section 2. Receiving the billing data, the loading dock.
So, a massive chunk of this data often enters the system via an Excel upload. PeopleSoft provides a specific spreadsheet invoice upload interface for this. It's essentially the bridge between your outside transaction sources and the PeopleSoft environment. Instead of manually keying things in, users can just generate XML and post their data directly from this template, which, saves just an unbelievable amount of time.
Before that data gets pushed, though, it has to be structured. The user defines crucial routing info right in the spreadsheet, things like the business unit, the customer ID, the bill source, and the billing currency. It is definitely not just a random data dump. It's highly organized staging. But where exactly does it go when you click Generate XML and Post?
Well, it lands right in the database. This is our first real pivot from the user interface to the back end. The data you upload populates specific billing interface tables. The INTFC_BI table is absolutely the star of the show here. It's your main staging table where uploaded rows wait to be processed. Then you've got INTFC_line_num keeping track of line sequences, and INTFC_BI_proc acting as the process control table. Basically, think of these tables as a raw, denormalized waiting room for your bills.
Section 3. Validating in the Work Center. Quality Assurance.
Now, moving into validation. Managers obviously need a bird's-eye view of this whole factory. The Billing Work Center dashboard gives them a real-time snapshot of bills categorized by status, like finalized, new bill, ready, or temp ready. It's a great way to monitor the overall health of incoming bills and instantly spot if there's a bottleneck forming in the pipeline. But the billing clerks, the folks actually doing the heavy lifting day in and day out, they practically live in the invoices not finalized screen. This is their daily queue. They tackle this list, reviewing the stage data, making sure all those fields from the original Excel upload translated perfectly, and basically getting everything pristine for the final print run.
And let's be real, things do not always go smoothly. The interface is going to flag transactions with load status errors and error status numbers. Users have to jump in and resolve common issues. We're talking invalid customer IDs, missing required fields, or formatting mismatches. Translating those cryptic system error numbers into actual real-world fixes is a huge part of the job to ensure only clean data moves forward.
Section 4. Generating the final invoice, the printing press.
All right, turning a ready bill into a final invoice is not just a simple click. It's a sophisticated sequence of invoicing jobs that breaks down into 4 main steps. First is pre-processing, where data is imported and defaults like VAT are set. Second is finalization, which is massive. The system sequences the lines, calculates taxes, updates due dates, and flips the status to invoiced. Third, it extracts and prints the formatted output. And lastly, post-processing updates all the final statuses across the board.
I want to look a little closer at that extract and print step because it relies on a really crucial underlying table called BI_extract. Once the invoice finalization process runs, the finalized data gets moved into this temporary extract table. Why? Because formatting tools like BI Publisher or SQR need a clean, highly structured place to pull data from to generate that beautiful PDF invoice you actually send to the customer. This table is literally the bridge between the system's underlying math and the final printed document.
Section 5. Integrating with accounting. Shipping it out.
At this point, that single, unified stream of billing data splits into different paths to feed the broader financial ecosystem. The load GL accounting entries process pushes data over to the general ledger for critical tasks like revenue recognition. Meanwhile, the data also feeds the subledgers. The load AR pending items process creates open items and receivables so you can actually collect the payment, and in some inter-unit scenarios, it even feeds accounts payable to create vouchers.
And to show you just how tightly integrated this step-by-step process is, let's look at one last database mapping. When billing generates an accounts payable voucher, it directly populates the AP staging tables. The billing header table feeds the voucher header staging table. The billing line table feeds the voucher line staging table. And the billing line distribution table maps flawlessly to the voucher distribution staging table. It is a perfect one-to-one handoff of data from module to module.
Section 6. Conclusion. Mastering the machinery.
So now that you've seen the full end-to-end lifecycle, the exact tables, the screens, and the hidden processes driving PeopleSoft billing, think about your own setup. Where are the bottlenecks in your data factory? Use this knowledge to optimize your interfaces, clean up your templates, and really take control of the machinery. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.